Hello everyone, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Suresh Pathare from BPHE Society's Center for Studies in Rural Development, Institute of Social Work and Research, Ahmednagar. We are discussing about the course on rural development, and as a part of this course, we have a module on food security and rural livelihood. In this particular module, we are going to understand what rural livelihood means to rural development. What is the nature of rural livelihood, how it is to be improved and how it is to be enhanced. The objective of this module are to know the nature of rural livelihood. By the end of this module, you will be able to understand the various issues involved in rural livelihood. Next, you will also be able to become aware of various government programs, schemes implemented and formulated to promote rural livelihood. In all, you will have the basic understanding about rural livelihood. You will be able to really work in rural development by understanding this rural livelihood. The purpose of this module is make you aware in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your skills, and also you will have appropriate information to develop intervention in this regard. Rural livelihood, when we have to understand its nature, we really need to understand that the rural is different from urban. Rural livelihoods options are primarily agriculture and allied occupation. You know, we call the India lives in rural area. 70% of population in rural area. And if you see the occupations, what people do in rural area, the whole rural economy is based on agriculture. So agriculture is the primary occupation. And all the allied occupations again are related to agriculture. So it means the agriculture and allied occupation related to agriculture are the basic livelihood options for the rural population. So that is the first thing we need to understand. So it is different than urban. It is agriculture based and rural economy is based on agriculture. So whatever happens is for livelihood, it depending on agriculture. We need to further understand right in the beginning when we are discussing about the rural livelihood. There are several issues concerning rural livelihood which are different than urban livelihood. The issues pertaining to rural areas are very specific. We are going to understand in this module. Further, in order to enhance the rural livelihood, there are government and civil society schemes. Civil society has worked on this. There are various government initiatives to address the issues of rural livelihood. The major livelihood activities for rural population are cultivation of food and cash crops. This is the major, as I mentioned, that agriculture based economy, and the people's major occupation is agriculture. So the whole rural population, they engaged into cultivation of food which is required for their own consumption. However, they are producing food also to get cash to fulfill their other needs. So cash crops are another cultivation. Then there is fish farming, cattle rearing, dairy farming, food processing, poultry, goatry, wood industries, organized plantation. So these are the major agriculture related activities. And then organized plantation like rubber, tea, cashew, coffee, cardamom, pepper, etc. So these all activities, if you see, these are related to farming, these are related to agriculture and cultivation, and so whatever livelihood options available are related with this, either to help the agriculture, either to get engaged in actively in cultivation and producing the crops, or the allied occupations which are linked with the agriculture. Now let's, based on this introduction, now I would like to explain the basic characteristics and various issues involved in rural livelihood. The first thing that we are working in agriculture. The agricultural occupations and allied occupations are very labor intensive. You don't really depend on the machine, but human labor is the primary machine or the primary thing that is required. You cannot depend for everything on the machine. For the cultivation, you need human labor. For harvesting, you need human labor. And then allied occupation, as I said, whether it is poultry, in order to feed, in order to rear them, in order to take care of them, whether it is goatry, whether it is dairy, for all these occupations, you need intensive labor. So the first characteristics of rural livelihood is it is labor intensive. The physical activities are important. You cannot just leave it on the machine and go away. So you have to do it yourself. And that is the important thing, that it is labor intensive. And so the distinction between the urban livelihood and rural livelihood, if you have to make, the first thing that you must understand, the rural livelihood is very labor intensive. Second thing is seasonality. It is not monotonous that throughout the year you continue doing the same thing. If you are working in a mill or industry, you might be engaged in doing the same thing repeatedly every day, the same activity. Whereas, like a season changes, the activity changes in rural area. Monsoon, things are different. Your occupations has to be changed. Whereas in summer, during summer, your occupations and your whole livelihood options changes automatically, because again it depends on the season, it depends on rain, it depends on the agriculture crops and the agriculture pattern, how it moves. Because as I mentioned, the whole economy and the whole livelihood options are linked with agriculture, and therefore it is very seasonal. You may be doing something during winter, whereas during monsoon you cannot do the same thing. You have to change your livelihood option. You cannot continue doing the same thing what you do in summer. So seasonality is the nature of rural livelihood. Like we sow the seeds in one season, and we have the one type of crop in winter, whereas you have the different type of crop during the monsoon. So that is what the seasonality. And then whether you own agriculture or whether you are dependent on agriculture, for both things your activity changes and your occupations and your livelihood option changes. The third important issue or the characteristic that we need to understand is, it is about the right combination of agricultural and allied occupations. This combining of agriculture and allied occupations is linked, and it is dependent on each other. It is interdependent, rather dependent on each other, but it is also interdependent. Your poultry or fishery or goatry or even the other occupations are linked with agriculture. So the issues related to right combination, that how it works. If you are doing the cultivation of cash crop, then what kind of activities, allied occupations are linked with that, are not necessarily same as what you do for cultivation of the grains or the crops. So it is different. Another important aspect or the issues related to cultural and traditional issues. We live in India, and rural area we have this balutedari system. Balutedari means It was linked with your caste and linked with the social issues. Who will do what? Who will do the carpentry? Who will do the sewing? Who will do the pottery, etc.? Everybody was assigned the task to do in rural area, and often certain occupations were banned for certain castes. So, culturally and traditionally, this rural livelihood was also linked with your caste background or your social background. Traditionally, not everybody owned land. Similarly, not everybody was allowed to do the sowing in the farm. I said not allowed because there are norms, traditional norms, and it is also linked with your possession of agriculture or whether you are with land or without land. So, landless laborers, they have to choose the different livelihood options. Depending on the caste again, each caste was assigned that they are supposed to be doing this. For example, a particular tribe will rear the goats, whereas a particular caste people, they will do the supply of farm cultivation appliances, whatever they required for cultivation. So this kind of allied activities were depending on the cultural and traditional issues. We need to understand the socio-cultural background of the rural area, how people live, how they relate with each other, and how they are dependent on each other. Even though that economy was perfect, everybody was getting the livelihood option. Now the things are changing in that. Issues related to gender is another important issues. Men and women are supposed to be doing the different things. Men are supposed to be doing the hard labor in the farm, whereas women are supposed to be taking care of children and taking care of household works. In urban area, women and men, they often work together. They work together in the office, they work together even at home in their family. Household work is shared by both if they both are working. It is not the case in rural area. And therefore, if it is the poultry, house-based poultry, it is taken care of by women. If it is sowing in the field, it is taken care of by men. So the what to be sown, what cultivation to be taken, what needs to be done, this is actually decided and determined by the male. And the woman has secondary role. Often the labor intensive job which needs more delicate kind of things, more intensive work like weeding, like plucking of the vegetables, or where more of bending kind of things, where woman has to bend and do the things. So they are involved in that kind of job. So in rural livelihood, allied activities largely taken care of by the woman, and the mainstream activities like farming or whether it is labor intensive jobs taken care of by men. So gender is another issue in the rural livelihood. As I said, the more major jobs are taken care of by men, automatically the money, cash is handled by men, and the women are for their livelihood, they have to depend on the small allied activities. Issues inherent to the informal, irregular, and unorganized agriculture sector. There are a number of issues with regard to this. The agriculture basically is informal sector. Depend on the rain, depend on the pattern of the season, depends on climate. And as the things changes, it is unpredictable and it is also irregular. You may get crops, you may get huge crop, but you may not get appropriate prices. So you may incur huge loss also. Farmers are largely unorganized, and allied activities are also unorganized. There is no union like any factory in urban area you have. There is no unions where farmers come together and unionize. So that is the major issue in a rural livelihood. Rural livelihood issues are handled by singly by each individual, family, or at the most small group. But there is no unionization, and that is why it is issues because of its nature, which is informal, unorganized, and also not regular or continuous. There are other issues related to social, as I mentioned, that the whole social fabric of rural India is different than urban. There, it is more of based on the caste, religion, and it is the clear division. The occupations are linked with that, so that the land ownership, landlessness, these are the social issues. Linked with that is also like education. Some people take education, some people don't take education, and so it is linked with the social issues, the livelihood issues linked with the social issues. Lastly, the issues related to sustainability. Primary occupation is agriculture. Agriculture depends on the environment, depends on the rain, depends on the water, depends on the land. So, the overall environment. So, how this livelihood can become sustainable? That is the issue. If the environment is sustainable, the rural livelihood can be sustainable. And therefore, sustainability is continuity. From the birth to the death, one must get the sustained, continuous livelihood option. Moreover, this continuity has not to be only for that generation, but generations together. Sustainability does not mean that one generation is gone and the next generation you look for something else. The land fertility has to be sustained. The environment has to be sustained. Water has to be conserved. Trees has to be conserved. And so these are the things linked with the environmental sustainability. Now, so these are the issues, and we need to address these issues. While dealing with these issues, especially with regard to sustainability that I was talking about, some of the things that we must address, because these are the other issues linked with the issues of sustainability. Natural and organic farming, which is very important in present context if we have to have the sustainable agriculture and sustainable livelihood for the rural population. With the chemical fertilizers, with the kind of farming that is being done, the pesticides being used, all these issues comes up of the land become infertile. The land is not producing. The produce and the crops that we get are poisonous because of the kind of pesticide and because of kind of the manure that we use, the fertilizers that we use. The alternative is, if we have to maintain this sustainability, the issue is that we need to focus on the natural and organic farming. We may not get in quantity, but definitely there is quality which we talk about. The natural and organic ways and means of fertilizing the soil, the natural and organic has to be done so that the land improves and then it maintains the sustainable production over a period of time. Another thing while dealing with the sustainability issue is physical measures of pest and insect control, as I mentioned just now. Crop rotation, shifting of cultivation. It means the more inclination of the today's farmer is towards the cash crops. Farmers are committing suicide because cash crops are failing. Onion, sugarcane or cotton, these are the major crops which we cannot eat, but we get the cash out of which. The moment the prices falls or the crops fails, the farmers are bankrupt. And that is the reason actually the crisis in the farming and rural livelihood. In order to have the sustainability in rural livelihood, we need to focus on this, that how we take these crops rotation wise, not continuously the same crop but different crops which maintains this land's fertility. Also the pest and insect control that we use, the shifting of cultivation again, not continuously but then by rotation if we shift, then it is likely that we maintain the fertility of land, and also we get the more crops and more production. Designing the right combination of agriculture and allied operation, as I mentioned, that this is linked with agriculture. So we need to design that in a such a way that it remains sustainable. Now, this is very important chart you see, the major government schemes. Now, let's understand what are the government programs and schemes to promote the rural livelihood. As we discussed and as I said, that rural development without rural livelihood cannot be thought of. In order to promote rural development, we must promote rural livelihood. In order to promote rural livelihood, there are a number of programs, government is concerned about it, and there are a number of programs initiated by government at different point of time, considering the need and considering the requirement of the rural area. Here are the some of the schemes, important ones. The Employment Assurance Scheme, which was started in 1993. The priorities in this was like employment, asset building, and it was meant for unemployed from the backward blocks. It was a special targeted scheme, and the strategy was given the work to the hands, manual work. That was the strategy. The second important program of government was Jawahar Gram Swaraj Yojana. This is another program started in 1999, and the priorities were like durable rural asset and employment. It was targeting towards the unemployed poor. Again, the strategy continues to be the manual work. In the same year, in 1999, there was another scheme called Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. The priority for this was poverty alleviation. It was targeting towards the BPL families and starting of self-help groups. More self-help groups was the strategy. Next important scheme that we must know about is started in 2005, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It was started as a scheme and then eventually it became an act. The priority is employment to the rural masses. The rural poor was the beneficiary target group, and according to it, the strategy was to providing the minimum of 100 days employment or the 100 days allowance to the unemployed person. Another next important scheme was National Rural Livelihood Mission, which was started in 2011, and it was focusing on the poverty alleviation, employment, entrepreneur development, targeting again the BPL family, and the strategy was to have the self-help group. So this is the actually the what I would say the convergence of all the schemes in NRLM, National Rural Livelihood Mission, which is converging all the existing scheme, having innovations, having access to the entitlements. It was actually trying to enhance the livelihood by linking people with the market, financial and capital services, providing that, technology production and increasing the productivity. So if you see, all the schemes were converged into this and it is taken into the mission mode. So with the missionary zeal, it was taken up so that the rural livelihood is promoted and enhanced. Rural Livelihood Mission, as you see in the diagram, is the platform of poor. This is the institutional platform for the poor by creating a network of SHGs and converging these SHGs groups into the federation and connecting them to livelihood issues. Overall, the idea was that every unemployed person and youth or anyone in the rural area that is jobless or poor, they get option for their livelihood. So the possibly this was the program which is linking to market, it is linking to the industries, it is linking to the financial institutions, and it is providing the skills to the people, it is providing the required initial guidance to the people, and it is done in group. Like a self-help group is the concept and strategy behind it, whereby not you alone but you have people like you with you, where collectively you do something to achieve the livelihood, get the livelihood for your survival. And with this livelihood mission, there is provision whereby you get the financial assistance either to go for entrepreneurship, which is again allied to the agriculture, rural based. It is not urbanizing, but in your village where you live in the rural area, you get the options. Now, overall, in this module, what we discussed is, in order to summarize, I would tell that in this module, we discussed about the nature of rural livelihood, the various issues involved in a rural livelihood, how this rural livelihood is different from the urban livelihood. We discussed about the what needs to be done to make the rural livelihood more sustainable. So we talked about sustainability, we talked about dealing with the issues of sustainability and making the rural livelihood more sustainable, and we also briefly presented here the various government programs and schemes that that promoting the rural livelihood for rural development. I would recommend that I've given the references in the e-text, and you can also see that you can go to the Ministry of Rural Development website, read their annual reports, website is given, and thank you very much. Wish all the best.